What's up, everybody? Time for another watch review here at Dave's Man Cave. This one, as you can guess, will be a Tissot. So if you want to go ahead and hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff, and leave comments, even if it's just to say cool, thumbs up, something. Every little bit helps the algorithm. So it's maybe my watch and motorcycle and car stuff. If I get enough of the algorithm to help me there, it'll offset the occasional political ding that I take for not conforming to the big tech hive mind. So anyway, what we've got is a Tissot. This is going to be a quartz watch. And I know, oh my gosh, quartz. Go ahead and grab your pearls. I actually had someone recently get on me about that. Like, oh my God, you're reviewing quartz. How could you? No watch guy would ever review quartz. I am out of here, sir. And I'm pretty sure in real life, as he banged away on his keyboard with all those exclamation points, there was a 1930s era harumph as he did it. It's like, whatever, dude. I buy the watches I want because they're the brand I want, they're the look I want, and they look like what I want. And they tell the time. How they do it internally, I don't really care. I've got quartz and I've got automatic. I've got solar, you know? It's like, whatever. The shit works. So what we're looking at today is the Tissot. I'm assuming you've seen Tissot boxes before, so for unboxings, you probably don't need a whole lot of stuff there on that. But let me see if I can turn the light up just a wee bit in the room here. It's early in the morning. Maybe that helps a little bit. So what did I go for this time? Well, I was over there buying a G-Shock at my favorite watch place over in Dawsonville, Tripping Company. If you're in the area, check them out. Huge, massive selection of watches. At any given time, they've got at least 1,500 watches in stock. I'm giving them a free plug because I like them. I get nothing from them. They don't sponsor me. They just give me decent discounts, and I, as a result, have bought like 30 watches from them. But they've got Tissot Citizen, Seiko, Seiko Lux, Hamilton, obviously these guys. They've got Bulova, Accutron, Luminox, Movado. Who else am I forgetting? Alpina, and something else. Anyway, they got a lot of stuff, and they've got at least 1,500 to 1,800, depending on what time of year you go there, and you know if they get their stock depleted. But anyway, they got a lot of stuff there, so it's definitely worth it if you're in the area, and their prices are great. So this is a watch that retails for $550. I'm sorry, on their website it says $625. Well, I paid $425 for this. And what this is it is quartz. However, it is a Swiss-made Tissot, which is a great brand, been around since, 1853, according to the dial there. And this is all titanium. So the fact that you're getting a titanium with a properly milled bracelet, this thing doesn't weigh anything. It almost feels like a toy. I mean, it just sits on your wrist and you almost forget it's there. So it is a 40 mil. Thickness is a very svelte 8.2. The lugs are 21, so if you wanted to take it off and put it on a strap, that will limit some of your options. I'm not sure why watch companies do that, but a lot do. Put 21s and put odd numbers. For me, I'd rather have it be a 22 or a 20. I don't know. I know they're probably, on paper, they're trying to create a certain ratio because of the curve of the dial, but it does limit. Now, I think if you probably go and buy this watch with a titanium bracelet to match the titanium case, it's probably because you want that look and you're not going to replace it, but just letting you know, it does have a 21 mil. They don't give lug to lug, but it is a 100 meter water resistance. So what you've got is a Swiss quartz, has a end of life. So as the battery dies, it's going to start double or triple jumping. You'll see the second handle stop, and then it'll jump a bunch of seconds at once to let you know, hey, it takes a Renata 371, which you can pick up. I think that you can pick, well, absolutely on Amazon. I have a whole box full of watches all sorted by type and size and stuff. So very easy. This one is the not a screw in back. It's the kind that you have to get the little tool to pop it out. And then you want to make sure you put it back together with the gasket intact and make sure the gasket, get a little thing. There's a special gasket lube that you can get, and you don't want to glop it on there, but you want to get a little bit on your fingers and then run the thing through your fingers all the way around and just make sure there's a very thin light coating. It helps seal it it also helps preserve it from cracking and tearing and drying out. It seals it. So what I love about this is the weight and the look. That dial is just super, super classy. We'll do some close-up shots here. Did I cover all the specs? Oh, you know what I always forget to do? Everybody always asks, and it's always like after the video's already up, Lume. How is the Lume? The reason I don't check the Lume half the time is because I don't care about Lume. Everybody likes look how bright the Lume is. Yeah, that's great if you're sitting in the dark with a flashlight charging it. I don't. If I'm going to be out somewhere in the dark for long enough where I'm like, I have to have accurate timekeeping and I don't have my phone and I'm relying on this watch to tell me what time it is after, 6 hours and the Lume has to hold up, I'm going to take a G-Shock with a backlight. It's but it does have some Lume, very small at the hour markers. And then you've got a good bit of Lume there on the hands itself. So just charge it up real quick with a backlight, with a black light rather. It's okay. It's not awesome. The hands are very small, so you're limited by how much Lume you can put on there. How long it's going to take, for it to dissipate. Here, I'm just using a little black light. Sunlight has a lot more radiation in it, and so in 10 seconds of direct, bright sunlight, it would absorb a lot more and probably be brighter and last longer for sure. But there you go. It's got Lume. I can check that box. You got a 2-year warranty. Oh, it says weighs 90 grams with the bracelet. That's the difference of titanium. If this was steel, it would be nearly double the weight. So you've got a very nice... Oh, looks like I didn't take all the damn plastic stuffs off. Take all that. And sorry, folks. Usually I like to do that beforehand. But I barely had my coffee this morning, so... There we go. I think I got it all off the back and everything. Looks good now. So, nice milled titanium. Clicks in with some real authority. Authorita. Very nice. The way the bracelet drapes nice. It's a 40 mil. I've got a 7.3 inch wrist. I did have to take out 3 links, but it sits on there. Now it's morning. I tend to be a little more thick, swollen in the morning. Giggity. But it's just loose enough. By the end of the day, it'll be a little bit loose. You do have half links, so you can adjust it, but obviously with a butterfly clasp, you do not have micro adjust. So that's always the risk with these things, is that a lot of times, depending on your wrist, what season it is, how hot and humid it is, you might find it just a little bit tight or a little bit loose. That is just the nature of the butterfly bracelets, where you can only adjust with links. Either a big adjustment or a not so big adjustment, but you cannot micro adjust. That's the downside. However, for me, that's about as tight as it's going to get, because I first wake up in the morning. That's usually when my ring, everything's just a little bit tighter. As the day goes on, an hour or two, it's going to be a little bit loose, but because it's so light, it doesn't want to flop around like a heavy watch. So I'm able to make this work. But just a beautiful, classy dial. And I love that it's neutral. You can wear this with just about anything. You can wear it with shorts and a t-shirt, and it looks like a nice watch without looking like you're wearing a dress watch and it's out of place. If you were dressed up, you could wear this and it would be very clean and look clean and elegant. It's going to be a bit of a chameleon in that regard, in that it's going to... it's neutral enough that it kind of goes with anything. You don't have a red watch and you're wearing, something else, a green shirt, and it just looks off. I have watches of most colors, so I can match with how I'm dressed that day, but also the color palette that I'm dressed that day, so that it looks like it's part of the ensemble, if you will. So we'll do a couple close-up shots. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about this thing, but the dial is absolutely clean and elegant. I like that it's got this whole titanium-like look. There's just enough contrast that you can read it at a glance. The hour hands don't, because they're shiny and have the white, they don't, especially when the lighting's at least halfway decent, it doesn't blend into the back. I've had some watches that look great, but you can barely read the damn hands, depending on the light. You've got sapphire crystal on the front. It is AR coated, although obviously you're going to get some reflection, as I do because I have a light directly overhead. Bezel's nice and clean. You've got brushing on the titanium that way. your crown, and then on the back, just a basic, gives you all your specs and basic information. It's just a nice, clean watch. And, you know, when you can scoop up a proper Swiss brand with heritage, and I know heritage is a mixed bag because just because you've been around forever and you have heritage, the heritage of the brand has nothing to do with the individual quality of the watch you're wearing. Just because you have heritage. Now, a lot of watches with heritage will have good watches, but don't automatically assume. I mean, I'll put it this way. Invicta has more heritage than Rolex. So, but Tissot is a very well-regarded brand. You can buy watches there starting in the low 300s for a quality piece and go up into the low 2000-ish, I think. I don't think there's many Tissots other than a special edition that might go over 2000. There's a couple that are up in the high, 1900s and stuff. So it's a good place to be. It's a nice Swiss brand that's widely recognized. Your PRX, there's a lot of iconic designs that Tissot is known for, and you can often get an automatic version, and you can get a quartz version. So there are automatic versions of the Gentleman. My buddy Johnny's got one that's got the Powermatic 80 movement and stuff, and those are up around the $800-900 range these days. I was like, you know what? I don't want to have to get another watch winder, so why not go with quartz and get the titanium model for half the price? It's going to tell the same time. I don't care what happens, how it makes the hands click inside. If the watch I want is an automatic, I buy it. If the watch I want is a quartz, I buy it. Doesn't really matter to me. But absolutely beautiful. Very, very classy. I was looking at a couple different watches. A Seiko Presage. There was something else I was looking at. Another Tissot. I think it was the Balade. And the one I ended up looking at, and Mick, my watch guy, was like, that's the one that looks best. Of the four you've got on the table, he's like, that's the one that looks best on your wrist. He's like, it's classy enough, it's sharp, it's got a little bit of a retro vibe, but it's still contemporary. And it stands out while at the same time being neutral and will go with just about anything. So that's what we're rocking today. That is the titanium Tissot 40 mil Gentleman quartz. Just a simple date, simple 3 hands. Don't have to service it. Throw a battery in there every 3 years, and you're good to go. You'll have a nice, elegant, quality timepiece without having to worry about maintenance and spending a couple $100 every few years to keep it running right or getting it regulated or cleaned. Here you go. Corrosion resistant. Titanium will scratch. Titanium isn't this crazy alloy that, it's very light and it's very strong, but you will scratch it just like stainless steel, so do be careful with it. But it's got a nice finish, and honestly, a lot of titaniums don't come with that kind of high polish like you'd see on 316L. It's got that darker tint. You can tell that the steel, it's not steel. But to have titanium with that level of finish, you don't see a lot of titaniums with that kind of high polish. I don't know why. I don't know if it's hard to do or what, but they did it, and it's absolutely beautiful. So very, very nice. There you have it. Trying to keep this one short, but that's the titanium Gentleman. Sits well on the wrist. It's just big enough. For guys that like smaller watches, it's a 40. It'll be to the larger end of your spectrum. For guys like me that tend to like 41 to 43s, it's big enough. It looks bigger on the wrist, honestly, a little bit than it is, but it's so light and thin that it wears smaller. It's a nice balance of all things. So there you have it, folks, everybody. The titanium quartz Gentleman. Go check it out. I'll put a link up in the description.